Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Thank you for um, inviting me to speak to you. I would like to thank my professor when I was still in college, Professor Engineer Pepito Cardosa Jr., the ISEP governor of Zamboanga City. Um, he requested that I will discuss to you the basics of cybersecurity and cybercrime. Basically, I've been discussing this for a decade already, and I would like to give you the basic now, and then we will discuss it later. If you have issues, if you have some challenges, or if you have any questions, then you can comment on my Facebook comment page. Then I will try to answer all of your questions. 12 p.m. until 5 p.m. But I only have a little bit of a presentation that we can set discussing. So you can ask me anything about cybersecurity and cybercrime, also warfare and terrorism. But since our audience now is not just professionals but also students, then I would like to lay low on the terms or the technical terms, and I would like to, as much as possible, I would like to present it to you in layman's terms. I would like to share my screen. Sorry, I cannot get the full screen of this one. I would like to share the PowerPoint presentation. The part one of our discussion today is decoding cybersecurity and cybercrime. First, I would like to discuss first the cybersecurity basics in the point of view of technology and policy. Normally, if we discuss cybersecurity, we just define it, but I would like you to know that the standpoint of technology and policy with regard to cybersecurity. So, what is the difference between physical world and cyberspace? Of course, in the physical world, touch it, you can feel it, but on cyberspace, you can just see it and imagine about it. Like, for example, the crisis or the war or the crimes or attacks to the infrastructure of a specific country or a specific organization or a person. So that happens in the physical world. So if you do that, then it's tangible, you can see it, right? You can feel it. However, cyberspace, you can also feel it. However, last na. I mean, hindi na siya real time na feel mo because the attack was already carried out online, or the attacks was carried out using computers, using technology, the networks, which is very hard to detect at first if you don't have any tools to detect. So the difference between the physical and the cyber world is like you're living in your house. You have locks on it. You stored your pesos or your US dollars in your drawers, in your safety box, and someone robbed your house. So that's physical crime. However, if I have a bank account, I have an online account, if that hacker is able to identify or know my information, then he or she can easily get into it by, of course, by accessing the accounts, the websites of the banks, and putting my information, thereby information and transacting on behalf of me. So that's the two different things. So if I commit this crime physically, there's a big chance of me being caught. There's now CCTV. There's now alarm system. But if I do it on cyberspace, then there might not be chance of getting caught, right? So yun ang pinagkaiba basically ng physical and cyberspace. Now let's discuss first cybersecurity before we go to cybercrime. Okay, use of ICT for terrorist purposes and drug trade and criminality. So nowadays, terrorist groups like ICs, like the local groups they use ICT or specifically social media to recruit, to not just recruit, but to radicalize individuals. It's a one way of radicalizing youth, radicalizing out of school youth, radicalizing those not really educated in what they understand about religion, about idealism. So sometimes they use ICT, the social media, most of the time, to recruit and to radicalize the minds of these individuals. So ICT plays a vital role in radicalization nowadays. Before, they radicalize using newspapers, or pamphlets. They radicalize using propaganda. But now, it's very easy. Just in front of their computers, they can do that. So that's another way of spreading these kinds of activities. So what happens in cyberspace really? In cyberspace, as you've seen in my, criminals can use the cyberspace to steal millions of pesos, dollars. We can use it to exchange information. Also, hacktivists can use it for political goals, to further their political goals. Marami pang iba. The cyberspace can be used as a medium of business, of a medium of, well, yung iba dyan na nakahanap ng kanilang asawa sa cyberspace using social media. So what really happens on cyberspace? Well, the thing that we only know right now as normal people is only the tip of the iceberg. Marami pong nangyari sa ilalim ng cyberspace. We have the dark web and the dark nets, right? And so those are the things that are happening in cyberspace that could happen in cyberspace. So what is cybersecurity now? Ano ba talaga ang ibig sabihin ng cybersecurity? In our discussion more than 10 years ago, cybersecurity is very simple. 10 years, 15 years ago, it's just the protection of your computer resources, your network. But right now, cybersecurity has become more complex because of the legal boundaries, the political boundaries, and other specific to the government activities that is needed to be protected. So, but anyways, I would like to define it in a basic way so that our students could understand. Basically, it's the prevention, protection, and the restoration from cyber attacks. Cybersecurity is to protect networks, computers, programs, and it also involves protecting information systems from cyber threats. Now, in our national cybersecurity plan that I authored, cybersecurity encompasses critical information infrastructure, which I will discuss in depth in my succeeding slides. So what are the common cyber threats that we are facing as an individual? Of course, we experience sometimes phishing. Most of the time, phishing are, we receive phishing emails, sometimes like from the banks, from your banks. You receive something that, okay, please click the link and provide your information. But if you click the link, then that link will go to a website that is similar to the bank's website. But how do you know if it's the bank website? Normally, if you access your bank, since it involves financial transactions, just please input the URL of the bank in your browser. Don't click anything if you access your bank. And that's one way of reducing, I'm not totally eliminating, but reducing the events or the incidents of phishing. What else? Malware. These are malicious software intended to damage our computers. So sometimes we receive emails or links that someone will ask us to click on it. However, if we click on it, sometimes the malware behaves like that. If you click on that specific malware link, it doesn't do anything. However, at the background, it observes, it records all your activities in your computer. Maybe pull out some information on you and use it to access any of your financial activities. Hacking. Hacking is unauthorized access to data in a system. So if your computer is sitting somewhere connected to the internet and you have a remote desktop application, I'm talking about physical, I'm talking about personal cyber threats. So some guy will hack into your computer using the network, using the internet, using the hardware. Then they can easily go through. Without protection, then they can just come in, just like opening your door without a key. And my favorite is social engineering. Social engineering became popular when Kevin Mitnick used it against Shimomura. So it's basically psychological manipulation of people into performing actions or divulging confidential information. So, parang ano to eh, parang, okay, for example, Engineer Cardosa is the database administrator of Adezu, for example. Then he holds vital information on that database. He holds a password, anything information about that database that stores all the information of Adezu. And now here comes the technical support of the provider daw, pero hindi naman daw siya yon. Assuming that this guy nagpanggap na siya yung provider. He called now Engineer Cardosa and told Engineer Cardosa, okay, we saw glitch in your system and we would like to act on it, repair on it ASAP because it's bothersome and we don't like uh, to be shut down, etc. So, of course, since Insider database admin of that network, by the Adizu, so he gave away right away the information on how to access remotely the database. So with that, the hacker pretends to be someone working that company, have no access to the database online, thereby stealing all the information. So parang budol-budol yan eh, ang social engineering. Yung magaling magsalita na tao, na then ikaw naman, parang totoo. So you can give the information to them, yung pala ikaw ang biktima. So that's basically social engineering. So these are just the basics that I'm discussing to you. So for the purpose of our students that are watching right now. So now, how do you protect yourself from these threats? These are just the basics. Nasabi ko na, so that you can avoid phishing, avoid malware, avoid any threats. These are just some of the recommendations that I can give. First, of course, do not open message or attachments from unknown sources. That's basic. Do not click dubious or unverified links. Baka mali mo, malware yan. Or pag-click mo ay makuha lahat ng information mo. Okay? You change your passwords regularly. Sino ba dito ang gumagawa niyan? To change the password regularly. How many times do you change your password? Every 2 months? Every 3 months? Interacting with other people online. Sometimes we are we give too much information online. So be doing that, because these people might harm you if they know 100% of your information. Kahit nga hindi 100%, majority of your information that can use to transact with the bank, with the schools or license, etc. Passports they can get because of your information. In your computer, you have to install security devices in your mobile phones as well. Like, for example, you install your AV, antivirus, your desktop firewalls. Okay? And be careful of what you plug in into your devices. Matagal na to eh, yung USB na pag pinlagin mo ay lahat ng files mo sa Windows, lahat ng files mo ay sa encrypt, hindi mo na mababasa, mahahide. Diba? So, but these are old malwares, but of course, these malwares also mutates. Diba? Meron silang iba't ibang version. So pagdating ng panahon, mas mahirap to silang i-crack or i-gamutin. Parang COVID ang hirap gamutin. Wala pang gamot. Do not install 30 applications directly from the internet. It should be verified. That's why Play Store and App Store, they will warn you if you do something or if you install something in your computer or in your mobile phones when you install, for example, a third-party application. So normally, if it's from the App Store, it's already verified. In your social media, only add people you know. Sino bang dito? Sino yung nag-a-add ng people na hindi nila kilala? Parang meron yata akong na-add na hindi ko kilala eh. Check ko nga. Anyways, report and ask help from the authorities. Okay? So there are authorities in every country or in every regions right now that you can report. For example, the PNP Cybercrime group. In every region, in Zamboanga, you have it there. Meron silang regional offices there. I don't know in Dubai, but of course in Dubai they have different process there. You can still report here if you're Filipino, Philippine authority if you've been victimized. And then cybercrime that you can also report. Yun ang mga law enforcement. But if it's network related, you can go to the Department of ICT, National CERT. They have the means of helping you in identifying or investigating some breaches that is related to critical infrastructure or government infrastructure. So, ganun ho yung delineation ng law enforcement action and dun sa admin action. So, anyways, these are the recent cyber threats naman. So, let's go to data personal. So, those are the tips to consider. But if doon yung gusto nyo sagot, then you can ask me. I will answer that one by one. So recent cyber threats, if you see the slides, in 2018, January, CoinCheck, yung mga na-hack, January, CoinCheck was hacked. 534 million stolen from Japan's largest digital currency exchange. Adult Swine Mobile, on February, the city of Atlanta suffers an attack that locks down city system for over a week. Yung Facebook, of course, 30 million Facebook users' phone number. And then the Marriott. By the way, last March, this year, was again check ko yung aking application. Kasi member din. So I think there were various breaches locally. Yung April last year, they're very active. I hope last month masyado wala namang hack so they cooperate with the navigation systems money 2014. That was the Malaysian Airlines. That were on board. That's manipulation or that's because wala pa control of electronic medical record and equipment. So these are the attacks to critical infrastructure. By the way, structure and it's in the national security plan. So overriding of oil and gas system, attacks to government infrastructures, also imminent hacking resulting to data breach, defacement site. When I was the security of leave, medyo na control na namin ito of the defacement of the Philippine government websites. The sophistication attacks, APT, DDoS, kinakain yung spam, yung mga messages na na-receive natin. Social engineering. So attacks, and we have ransomware. So, launched last December of 2016. We, the government, a roadmap so that alam mo kung anong gagawin mo for the rest of your stay in the government. Hello, strategy. Okay, our strategy, if strategy of course is the DICT, the DND, the DOJ, NBI, the LGP. They have to have or an organization that so this one I designed this. It will lead for protection through the answer to the Cybersecurity Bureau. The DOJ investigation enforcement. Since yan ang ginagawa, that's why they were created. The DND will lead for cyber defense. That's why the cyber group, which is now headed by so yung kita yung NSIA, okay, lead for inter policy coordination among concerned agencies to create perceive nation community is there to support these activities. But how would you do if you have no platform of sharing? That's why we created Cyber Project. It's run awarded last 2018. Yeah, and it's being handled by the National Cert of the VICT. So that is supposed to be a shared platform, meaning agencies are connected there. Eventually, now it has 10 agencies that could share. If one agency will share the experience of CMSP that is handled by the National Cert, give you intelligence that will give you information. It will become knowledge. You can give it to the rest of the agencies that has not yet suffered from specific experience by the specific agency. So that we can promote cybersecurity is the tool of government approach. The future plan of this is to connect critical infrastructure the DIC. Share cybersecurity information is useless because you cannot solve that alone. You cannot solve any problem inside code. Partners from the public sector, so they can create situational awareness for all the agencies, companies, sectors connected to the CMP. For the plan, the critical infrastructure, supply chain, and person of individuals. So this imperative encompasses all those that we were doing when I was still with the department. Okay, so these are the structure of the country. So this should be protected. Just imagine if the PPO compromised, will be attacked. PPO contributes to our GDP. 2018 is around $25, okay, that they the cost of emergency systems, water, government, shipping, health, country. The data that was given by the COVID patients should also be protected. Energy, power. Wait, I'll just set to public. Yep. Now it's public. Sorry. I've been streaming on my friends only. Not private. So the next topic is cybercrime. So we finished cybersecurity. If you have any questions on that, it's just basic. Hindi ko pa masyado na. If you have any questions on cybersecurity, hindi ko pa masyado siguro na explain lahat kung gusto nyo, but you can comment and I will try to answer those. Okay. So cybercrime basics. In law, policy, and technology point of view, hindi lang po ito puro hacking, but this is in the policy point of view, ano bang dapat gawin? In law, ano kailangan bang improve yung cybercrime law, diba? In technology, do we need to find solutions? For example, in combating online child pornography. So that's our talking points, discussion points with this, and I will wait for your questions. Okay. What is cybercrime? Well, basically, cybercrime, since meron tayong CPA, or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, it is known as computer-related crime. It involves computer in a network. So the computer may have been used in the commission of a crime, or it may be the target. So the cybercrime was first in 1982 as popularized in his 1984 novel Neuromancer. So this is the basic definition of cybercrime. Tandaan nyo, since we have cybercrime law, then all acts or offenses defined in the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 is now cybercrime. But prior to that, hindi pa cybercrime, that's a violation of e-commerce law. Now, evolution of crimes. Okay, conventional crimes and cybercrimes. That's the evolution of crimes. Okay, just imagine if I go to the bank physically and rob the bank. Buhat ko yung pera, 10 million pesos, for example. I'll go there physically. So maraming harang sa akin. May guard, may camera, may etc. May pinto. But if I do that using my computer here at home, and that bank is not secured, well, it's secured. However, my window of opportunity. So the hacker was able to hack the bank using some techniques. So he got not just 10 million, but more than 10 million that is present on the database. Diba? So the crime of I go there to the bank physically is robbery, right? But if I use my hack the bank, that is now cybercrime or hacking, right? Using the computer. So conventional crimes, as you can see here, fraud and financial crimes, it's computer fraud, theft, hacking, extortion, cyber extortion, libel and online libel. So these are just how the crimes from physical evolved to computer crime or cybercrime. So which is worse? Is it traditional crime or cybercrime? Well, if I am a devil's advocate, of course, if I know how to use cyber as a platform to do crimes, then hindi ako nakikita, nasa likod ako. So most of the criminals now are migrating from traditional crime to cybercrime. So, for example, if that guy go to the streets and nagpipickpockets or nagnakaw na maghila, diba? Yung mahuli. But if you use the computer platform to commit the same, of course, hindi ka manghihublot sa sa computer, to commit the same results, you gain something. Then they use the computer network, they gain more, and without the fear of getting caught easily. I'm not saying that hindi sila mahuhuli, but getting caught easily. Okay? So, for me, worse ang the means na hindi sila agad mahuli. Just like, for example, if you go to, this is published in our book or in our journal in Beleta conference, and also in our book in the US, Law, Policy, and Technology, Cyber Terrorism. If you use cyber to commit an act of war, okay, you weaponize cyber. Medyo malalim na. Sorry for the students, but if you look into it, you watch the Black Hat pala, kay yung yung movie na yon. Doon yung makikita paano ginamit yung cyber in conducting terrorism activities. So if you use cyber to trigger a bomb, then it's worse. Diba? For example, you target nuclear power plants. Nuclear power plants are very secure, but the PLC, sometimes they have vulnerabilities. So you have to study the PLCs of that nuclear power plant, then you control it, then you can damage the reactor, so the reactor will have to give up and blow. So that's one way of using cyber in terrorism purposes. Go to the nuclear power plant and bring the bomb. I doubt that you can get inside. Cybercrime. Just like Iraq, Netan, the nuclear plant of Iran, it was infected by Stuxnets. And this virus targeted specific PLC or programmable logic control that this virus, this malware, controlled. So, ibig sabihin, yung centrifuges ng Netan uminit because of the continuous spinning and it broke. So, yun po ang ginagawa ng Stuxnet. But anyway, Stuxnet is gone and it evolves into another forms of malware. So these are the laws that was passed by the Philippines in relation to cyber. Okay, so the 7610, the Child Against Special Use Act. In 1998, we have the Access Device Regulation Act. In 2000, the first e-commerce or cyber-related, cybercrime-related, because in Section 33 of this law, it defines cyber crime, but not cybercrime. It's computer crime or electronic crime. In 2003, we have the Anti-Trafficking Act. In 2004, we have the Anti-Violence Against Women and Children Act. In 2009, we have the 9775 and 9995, the Anti-Child Pornography Act and Anti-Photo and Video Voyeurism. And in 2012, the passage of the two laws, very important law for the DICT, the Cybercrime Prevention Act, Data Privacy Act. So these two laws is now attached to the Department of ICT plus the National Telecom Commission. So the DICT was the DICT came into law in 2016, May 23rd of 2016, and that law attaches NPC and CICC to the Department of ICT. That's why if you see the structure of the DICT, meron tayong NTC, meron tayong National Private CICC. So CICC was approved in 2017 by the DBM. It has 70 plus personnel, but I believe it is not yet activated until now. I don't know. I hope it will be activated soon if they have plans to activate it. Okay, so for the case study, the first conviction of cybercrime happened in 2015 in Valenzuela City. This is cybercrime. This is Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. The prosecutor that handled the case was Attorney Agapito Fajardo. He was the state prosecutor of that time in 2015 in Valenzuela City. So actually, Attorney Fajardo was given by then Secretary Kagiwa of the DOJ as the first conviction of DOJ in regional trial court level during that time. So this is what happened. The guy, I will not mention the name, of course. The guy created or altered the picture of a young guy, picture lady. He attached the head of that young lady to the body of another body of a nude girl. So he posted it on social media, and of course, picture ng babae, syempre, nalungkot, hysterical. And then there's a cell phone number there that to contact. Now, if you want to engage with this picture, with this nude picture, then contact this number. So of course the girl was hysterical, and he found out that this guy was the one, or he suspected that this guy was the one who did that. So as a background, the two were in one congregation. The guy, he was the preacher, and the lady, yung nakikinig. So preaching sermons, etc. So first year or their relationship there, they were good, etc. But then, to cut the story short, the girl denied the actions, the indecent proposal of the guy. So yun ang dahilan kung bakit nagalit yung guy. And he manipulated or altered the picture of the lady and connect it to the nude body of the another maybe porn actress or whatever. So with that, they were able to identify the. Ang nakakatawa ay yung cellphone during the attorney told me, Attorney Fardo is my friend, one of the close friends in RTC. He told me that when they tried to ring the phone that was placed in that website, nag-ring andun sa loob ng korte. So that was the funny moment ng hearing. Anyways, the guy was convicted, and he was convicted for Section 4A3 of the Cybercrime Prevention Act 2012 plus the BAUC in violence against women and children. So he was sentenced to 10 years plus 1 day in prison times 2 kasi dalawang special law. So 20 years in 2 days. So he appealed to the Court of Appeals, and Attorney Fajardo just texted me this morning that the appeal was denied by the Supreme Court, and the RTC decision was affirmed by the Court of Appeals. And he doesn't know that if the respondent filed it to the Supreme Court, well, yun, hanggang ECA muna tayo. I hope mabasa natin lahat ng mga nangyari so that we'll have one good example dun sa mga nag-alter ng picture sa Adobe Photoshop. Ginagawang ulo ng nakubad na babae, yung kanilang pinagnanasaang girlfriend, whatever, na babae. Kawawa naman yung babae. Diba? So, yan po yung first conviction of cybercrime case study ng Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Okay? So, with that, that's the end of my presentation. Although that's so brief, it's only 51 minutes presentation, but I'd like to hear some question of that discussion so that we can be interactive. Okay? So now I'm back on my screen, and I would like to read some questions. Audio is breaking up daw, sabi ni Odik. Sensya na, Odik, medyo mabagal yata ang internet ko dito eh. Okay, may recorded, putol-putol ang net. So, Christian, no? Christian. I will answer some questions as sent by Sir Pete Cardoza. Okay, maraming question dito. The first question is, what can we do? And what measures can we observe to be safe? Of course, as I mentioned earlier, kailangan nating alamin muna kung paano gumamit ng computer. Diba? Paano mag-browse, paano ang safety na mag-browse. Of course, if you use social media, because this is a general question, if you use social media, of course, there's always a safety measures or suggestions ng Facebook or any social media doon sa kanilang application. Try to read that. But one of the basic measures, of course, is what I've explained earlier. Don't share too much information. Okay? Ano pa? Because information is money. Data is money. If we know, if the hackers know what are the things that they should input to your credit card or to your bank accounts, then you can just do it and get your money. Okay? So in cybercrime, you follow the money. Ganun naman sa investigation, you follow the money. If where the money goes, you go, you investigate, You try to identify the source, the destination, the process. Okay, those are investigation. But as a basic individual, or as a citizen, and basic advice to you is try to too much information online. Okay? Basic yan eh. Actually, it's a cliche na ngayon eh. But dapat i-remind lang natin palagi. Next is, in case na maging victim ng phishing or any cyber incidents, ano po dapat gawin? Okay? This is from Sir Pete. If ma-victim ka ng phishing, una-una, dapat hindi ka muna ma-victim ng phishing. Okay? Ito yung suggestion natin. Kanina sabi ko, don't click or any links that is coming from your bank or email. Okay? Unless you know that it's really from your bank. Try to verify if it involves transactions or giving personal information. The banks will never ask you to give personal information online. Basic yan ng bangko. Ever since. Yan ang aming sinasabi. 10 years ago, yan ang aming sinasabi. Don't give your personal information. Don't give your PIN number online. The banks will never ask you for that. Okay? But if you already given your information, then you call your bank right away, change your passwords, and report to the PNP Cybercrime Group or the National Bureau of Investigation Computer Division. Magaling yung mga yan. Magaling yung ACG at NBI natin. Ano yan? Exemplary yung performance nila. Pag cyber incidents naman, for example, if you're working with the government, then you receive or you became victim of any cyber threats or cyber attacks, then you report to the National CERT, and then the National CERT will help you, and the NCERT will coordinate with the law enforcement authorities. But if it's personal, you can directly go to the police or to the NBI, Cybercrime Group for that matter. Okay, number 3 question. Paano na-retrieve ang stolen infos or accounts? Well, if your info stolen, then andun na yan eh. But of course, ikaw, alam mo naman information mo. But for the accounts, for example, Facebook, if they stole your Facebook account, you can report that to Facebook, and you can report that to the law enforcement if you'd like to investigate further. But normally, the Facebook will entertain. The National CERT of the DICT has a direct line. We instituted that when I was still in charge of cybersecurity for the country. We connect with Facebook in order to help us with those kinds of crime, of stolen accounts, okay? Mga identity thefts. So number 4 question. Kung sino yung gumawa? Okay, this is a process of investigation. Normally, if the hacker is very, if he knows what he's doing, anonymity browsers or the Tor or anything that could hide himself, then it will take a long time, or sometimes mahirap na ma-identify. But if the hacker or if the perpetrator is novice, then it can easily be tracked with the law enforcement or even our NCERT. But if it involves crime, sabi ko, it should be reported to the police or to the NBI. But if it's admin, you can report that to the National CERT, and the National CERT will help you investigate with the law enforcement if there's cybercrime. Okay? Ano po yung pinaka-common na cybercrime? Well, right now it's mga phishing. Okay? Because why do you commit crime on cyber? Because of monetary, diba? Monetary, pera. So normally banks, no? Just like maybe two banks in the Philippines are maraming maraming kaso ng ganyan, but of course NBI and PNP are helping them so that they can arrest these criminals. Actually, meron nang na-arresto. Okay? So, yun. The next question is, my question dito si Odi. In Philippine setting and given the maturity level of cybersecurity, how can this paradigm help government actively address the flattening of the curve? Well, cybersecurity plays a vital role, okay, in ICT protection. In virus protection, if ay may computer virus, ano nangyari? Meron ding virus. So how do you deal with virus in a computer? How do you deal with malwares in a computer so that it will not spread? The first thing you do is detection. The maturity level of cybersecurity in the Philippines, we have detection capability already. Gamitin lang ng department yan. The detection capability can now help you prevent. Okay? Prevent. Then, if you detect something, you can isolate. Okay? You prevent that malware from spreading, then you isolate and quarantine the virus so that it won't affect other computer nodes in the network. Diba? So, if you apply that idea in flattening the curve, you can also do that. So you think that the COVID patients are the virus, kasi meron na silang virus, or yung mga naglalakad dyan ay hindi mo alam kung may virus. That's why there's a testing, there's a detection. So how do you detect now the virus? Of course, you need test. Parang sa computer, you need antivirus. You need a zero-day detection capability. Diba? Yung zero-day, yan yung mga asymptomatic na naglalakad-lakad sa kali. So after ilang days, mag-detonate, maging symptomatic, makahawa. Ganon din sa cybersecurity, right? So it can help to flatten the curve if you know the data, you know how much people are affected in that specific network. You just think about Quezon City is one network, di ba? And merong maraming networks connected by EDSA, vector pairs. Yun ang yung LAN cables, VPN connections, di ba? Okay? So that's how cybersecurity can also help. So proactively, you can test, you can detect. Without detection, my goodness, parang kang shotgun approach. So if you detect, then you can do the sniper approach in cybersecurity, as well as, I believe, it's my opinion, I'm no health expert, but applying my cybersecurity knowledge to this kind of incident, well, I believe it could also help, and maybe pwede pag-isipan. I hope I answered the question of Odi. My question dito from Facebook, si June Jacobe. Do we have equipment to trace, pinpoint, and capture these criminals? And how many criminals have we jailed in the Philippines when this act is approved? Okay. I believe, June, equipment to trace, pinpoint, and capture these criminals, meron yan. Meron ng mga tools na ganyan. But what we lack are the analysts, that can use that equipment. There are open sources that can do that. Open source tools that can do that. Yung ating insert, meron silang tools dyan, okay, that can help trace, of course, considering privacy. Okay? But up to what level, then that's up to the investigators or the analysts. I hope, since meron ng training din yung mga government staff on handling this, using this equipment, I believe they can also do hand in hand with law enforcement so that the cases can be filed and the criminals can be convicted in violating the cybercrime law. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think my question is to Christian here. Christian, yung webinter, di po ba natuloy? The webinter is there. I think they are using it to help fight fake news. Yes, I believe it should be used for that purpose as well. Okay, so what else? Do you have any question? Please ask if you have any question. Eric has question. Eric, sir, any sample or stories of any data privacy related cybercrime here in the Philippines? Thank you, sir. More live session. I will in the part 2 of our CyberGuardian. I will discuss more on the privacy or cybercrime related, because the privacy is being filed with the National Privacy Commission, and sa ngayon we are more focused on cybercrime and cybersecurity. But the next time, Eric, I will answer your question. I think gawin na natin itong regular ating session so that we can also give insights to the public. Okay, so I think it's already 5:02, and then maybe I will have one more question to answer. Okay. Okay, itong interesting question from Sir Cardosa. Will there be risk if we store or save data to the cloud? What and how if there will be risk? I believe if you store your data to the public cloud, just make sure your public cloud. It's not good when you store the cloud. But right now, in times of COVID, in times of pandemic like this, cloud computing is very important. Okay, I believe in the future, work from home or even the cybersecurity operating center will be managed through a secure public cloud. Kasi syempre, if you're on premise, then you have to go to the office and interact with your co-workers. So in times of pandemic like this, cloud computing, secure cloud computing is very, very important, beneficial to the government, private companies, organizations. So I think I will have one session for that, and I will discuss to you how it works and how it can be used. We have now a group of think tanks from all over the world. Members are co-authors in the US. One from the US, one from the UK. So we are discussing how is the new normal in cybersecurity and privacy. Design solution without violating the privacy of individuals. Just recently, Apple released some documents to show what they're doing on this. So we will discuss that later. So at this juncture, I would like to thank ISEP Sambuanga ISF Dubai. Jetro is watching us. Of course, the Ateneo de Zambang University, and to all of you guys, I hope this is not the first and the last. Okay, this is the first, but there will be another session for my announcement. Based on your question, I will have to do something about it. Okay, so thank you and stay safe, stay home. Bye bye.